Torre won't be happy to see. He's left himself the big 5. Almost impossible split. And you see the ball cutting through. It's makeable, but it's very difficult, as you saw, and he's just taken the 3 pins, and that unfortunately is an open frame for Torre, and he's slipped further behind after frame 8.
We talked about a 28-pin deficit. If Alex can come back with a strike following that open frame from Torre, that deficit's going to get blown wide open.
Yeah, Torre's just looking at the television monitor side of the stage. You can see his score. Well, you can tell by his face that he's not over happy, is he? Although he's hit 4 strikes. Every other frame has not been particularly good. Being put under pressure by the left-hander.
Yes, 5 in a row for Alex Liu. Is he going to tack on another one and really start pouring it on? Well, he just got out of the pocket there and is lucky to get away with the 8.
Yeah, the 4 and the 8 pin standing up. Just a little bit inside, a little bit of overreaction, high through the head pin. Should be a straightforward spare for the left-hander, though.
He'll be disappointed, and obviously, as he takes that spare ball, it's worth reminding ourselves that he missed one of these in a very similar situation earlier. Not this time, doesn't make that mistake again.
Yeah, we call it taking some fingers out of the ball, and it just took some rotation off of it, so it didn't hook quite so much in the back end. That's what those spare balls are meant to do, go straight. You normally see them thrown at single pins or clusters of 2, you know, and that's what he's done. And that scorecard is looking not too bad after frame 2, is it? Torre can strike out 4 in a row for a game of 206. And it's not going to be enough anywhere near Alex Liu. Well, there's the first one in the foundation frame, frame number 9. He really has to got to set himself up here and shoot 3 more in the 10th frame. Let's see what he can do. Torre very steady on that sliding foot. Helps him hit the mark that he's aiming at. Gets a reaction in the back end.
Still in touch. No crisis yet, but Torgerson will look at that open frame and say, well, that really didn't help. It's kind of removed the margin of error for the man from Norway. And can Alex keep that advantage? Yes, he can. Back on strike.
It was a very important ball. It was the foundation frame, frame number 9. And the man from Malaysia shot another strike, so he's set himself up for some bonuses in the 10th frame. Fraction high, but it's cut through. It's got those pins to cascade into one another and taken all 10. That's the situation, 40 pins going into the 10th frame.
So let's see if Torre can build up some momentum to take with him into the second leg of this best of 2. Don't ride him off yet, not by a long way. Just look, Torre is definitely capable of matching Alex Liu's 5 in a row.
Yeah, that's his first double from frame 9 and 10. Nice shot on the overhead cameras there, overhead monitors. Needs to treble it up now, looking for 3. Get some pins back. Try and tie this first game down, keep it close.
I often think this is where he's at his most dangerous, you know, Cass. You watch him over the years, that when his body language is looking like he's miserable and grumpy and having a tough time, and he's going for a re-rack here. He didn't like the way the pins were set up. But he finds a new level when he gets himself like this. He almost starts getting angry, and that takes him to a higher plane altogether.
Well, yes, he's as I say, he's been the professional player. He's just taken the re-rack. He's working 2 strikes, and he wasn't very happy with the way one of the pins was set up in the triangle. He's allowed to take a re-rack, which he's done. He'll settle himself and try and make this 3 in a row. You could tell by the look on his face that he wasn't happy with the pin spotting straight away. So just reset the rack, put him on spot, and this is looking for 3 strikes.
There it goes. This is sending a little message to his opponent. You think you got this wrapped up, you better think again, matey.
Yeah, 3 strikes in a row, one more for a 206. Not the best game he's ever bowled, but it was that huge 5-3 split, frame 8. That was the biggest glitch in the game.
It's actually quite a good recovery from that. He's had 3 in a row with a chance to tack on a 4th here and really take some momentum into leg 2.
Well, he certainly needed to do that to pull some pins back and close the scores up, because he could well have been 50 adrift and going into game 2, and that's a mighty big gap at this level, especially against the Asian #1 player, who seems to have that left-hand side absolutely sewn up.
Went a little bit wider there. I think he was experimenting with a ball that didn't really affect matters too much. And he finishes with a 203. Was he experimenting there?
Well, it certainly was wide of the mark, wasn't it? Only just hit the head pin and left the 2.810 as we've seen before, but that didn't matter. It was his last ball, and it's a score of 203.
So the only question now is, how big a lead will Alex Liu carry into the second game? How big a cushion will he need against a streaking Tora Torgerson? What kind of front runner is he?
Well, 3 strikes will give him 246. We have a 43 pin lead, but a nice lead that is. But I would hopefully win another 20 pins if I was playing Tora Torgerson over one game. And that's a mighty big ball. It's the first one in the 10th. It's another double. It really was a big ball. It sets himself up for the opportunity to make that 240 score and stay in front. He'll be the front runner going into game number 2. It's just a matter of how big the game will be.
Taking his time as ever, drilling those eyes into the pins. He'll be disappointed there.
Fraction high on the head pin. Left the 6 and the 8 pin standing up, and the 6 pin's gone. Didn't quite trip the 8 pin out to make the strike. Oh, nearly made it.
Yeah, that could have been well, that's effectively a 10-pin difference right there. That 1 pin standing up. Alex will have to settle for 235 and a lead of 32. It's a useful lead for Asia's #1. It could have been better, and it certainly isn't enough for him to relax and say job done. This one's all to play for.
Just before we start game 2, PBA pro Chris Barnes takes us through another aspect of the game of 10-pin.
On the lane at approximately 15 feet, you'll see elongated marks that we call arrows. They're spaced evenly every 5 boards apart on the 5th, 10th, 15th, 20th, 25th, 30th, and 35th board. So if a player is said to be playing 10, he's crossing the 2nd arrow on the 10th board as he goes down and tries to strike on that attempt.
32 pins the lead for Asia's #1, Alex Liu, against the man who's owned this event over the years, Tora Torgerson. To set some sort of context into what that means, 32 pins is a lead that can be erased in 1 frame. You go open and your opponent strikes, you're going to find 32 pins reduced to a couple. So that's how far ahead he is. In other words, he can't relax yet.
I'm sure at this moment, if you asked Alex if he could have another 235 game, he would happily accept it. But it's going to take a lot of strikes.
Well, he built that 235.